This story took place in the United States in 2005, and the main character was a teenage girl named Jessie, who was 18 years old. Jessie had registered on one of the popular teen websites at the time, which gathered high school students and recent graduates from different states to chat and get to know each other. As usual with teenagers, everyone uploaded their best photo. Girls tried to look as beautiful as possible, and boys chose photos that suggested attractiveness and confidence. But while browsing the profiles, Jessie noticed a strange account. The profile picture was of an older woman. Jessie was very surprised, as this account was the only one that looked different from all the others. Out of curiosity, she decided to message the account and asked if it was registered by mistake or if the photo belonged to the person's mother or a relative. The reply came quickly. He said his name was Tommy, he was 19 years old, and the picture was of his mother, which he had mistakenly uploaded. A short while later, he changed the picture, and Jessie was astonished. It was a handsome young man, smiling, looking completely normal. They started talking, and over the days, curiosity turned into acquaintance, and then into mutual interest. The relationship developed quickly. They exchanged phone numbers, made long calls, then sent voice messages and photos. Jessie felt, for the first time, that someone truly understood her and cared about her. It didn't stop there. Jessie began making simple accessories, like rings or necklaces, and wrote her name and Tommy's name on them, taking pictures to send to him. In return, he sent her messages full of romantic words and promises, assuring her that he loved her and that she was special. Several months passed, and each became an essential part of the other's life. Yet despite all this closeness, they never met in person. At first, Jessie had no doubts. Tommy always found excuses. Sometimes it was because of school, other times due to family, and sometimes money. Over time, however, doubts began creeping into her heart, especially when she noticed that he avoided video calls or quickly turned off the camera. One day, everything changed. Jessie received a message from a strange account, warning her about Tommy and telling her that the photo was not his, and that there were dangerous secrets behind this relationship. At first, she thought it was a joke or sabotage, but she began investigating herself. What she discovered later was shocking. The person she loved and trusted was not who he claimed to be. This was when the dark truth began to unfold, turning the virtual love story into a harsh lesson about trust, deception, and the dangers of the digital world. She started reviewing the small details she had overlooked before. She noticed that Tommy never sent new pictures, and all his photos seemed old or taken from strange angles. When she asked for a video call, he always made excuses. Sometimes the camera wasn't working, sometimes the internet was weak, and sometimes he promised another time. But nothing ever happened. Jessie decided to test him. She suddenly asked about his high school, his friends, and simple things anyone should remember. His answers started to contradict each other. He changed the school's name, misnamed the city, or avoided the question entirely. At that moment, Jessie felt something she had never felt before: fear. She returned to the warning message and replied. Hours later, she received a response that turned her world upside down. The person who had messaged her revealed that Tommy's name was fake. The photos he used were taken from the internet, and he was not a 19-year-old young man, as he claimed. He was much older, targeting teenagers online. Jessie didn't believe it at first, but she decided to investigate herself. She uploaded one of the photos Tommy had sent her, and using search tools, she discovered that the picture belonged to another person living in a different state, who had no idea about her. Her world collapsed. She confronted Tommy with the truth. At first, he denied it, then became angry, trying to manipulate her feelings, claiming that age didn't matter and that their feelings were real. But Jessie had finally woken up. She closed the account, changed her number, and told her family everything, despite fear and embarrassment. Later, it became clear that the person behind Tommy's account had tried to contact other girls the same way. Thanks to Jessie reporting it, the account was shut down, preventing this person from deceiving more teenagers. But the story took a new and terrifying turn. Tommy introduced Jessie to a friend named Brian, a 19-year-old young man who began messaging her as Tommy's friend. Jessie didn't pay much attention at first, but over time, Brian became part of her digital life. Suddenly, a shocking photo arrived, a real picture of Tommy, an older man with his wife, not the young man he claimed to be. Jessie felt a mix of rage and disbelief and decided to confront Brian directly to confirm. Brian admitted the truth. Yes, this was Tommy, his colleague in the Navy, a much older man, and the photo was old. Jessie was devastated. She confronted Tommy, scolded him for his deception, and ended the relationship permanently. Jessie then discovered that the person sending messages and using the photos was not Tommy or Brian, but her own mother. She had been using Jessie's room, clothes, and even accessories to send photos and messages as Jessie, creating a complete fake story online. The consequences were catastrophic. Brian was killed by Tommy out of jealousy and revenge. Tommy was arrested and sentenced to life imprisonment, while the families involved were completely devastated, and Jessie's world changed forever. Jessie learned a harsh lesson. Not everyone who speaks kindly is sincere, and not every photo is real. The internet can hide faces and plots we never see. Jessie grew up and later shared her story to warn other teenagers so they wouldn't fall into the same trap. Thus, a virtual love story became a real warning. Trust on the internet should be cautious, not blind.